It's time again to get the tips and tricks from our partners at Resene. Today, it's all about choosing the right paint for your iron bits in and around the house. Here with the information is designer Hamish Dodd. Hello, Hamish. Now, when we're talking about iron bits, what kinds of things are we talking about painting?
Okay, so there's lots of things. There are things like garden sheds, there's painting your iron roof. I've had clients ask me about painting the exterior of their rabbit hutches that are metal. There are metal gates, there are hinges, and there are lots of brackets around the place that you might end up having to paint that are actually metal.
And do you have to use like a specific kind of paint for that?
You do. It's all in the prep work, once again, which seems to be the thing we cling to, right? So what you need to do is, of course, make sure that the surface is sound. So any loose corrosion's been removed and it's been cleaned down. After that, you actually want to use a general purpose metal primer. Resene make this, you apply this, it's nice and thick, so it gets you really good coverage. And then over the top, you can start applying the actual colors you want. And I think it's at this point you start to have a little bit of fun. I've been traveling around up in Northland lately, and I always love old barns, bits and pieces, and old farm buildings that you see. And often they're painted in quite interesting colors. So my thought is, how about we take some of that fun and we apply it into our backyards? So if you've got, say, a galvanized garden shed that you might want to give a little bit more panache, sure, you could paint it black, right? Because maybe it's up against a black fence, or maybe you could paint it green. But if you're a little bit more bold and you want to punch it out there a little bit, well, I've got a couple of colors I want you to have a look at. And the first one is Resene Red, Red, Red. And I've put my money where my mouth is with this color in the past because I've actually painted my barn. Yeah, look, it's a nice red. You know that American red that you see on barns? And it's about getting the correct one. If you want one, this works well. If you've got a lifestyle block, this is the red barn color that you want to use. Something I also saw up here in Northland was actually a mustard-coloured barn, and it was beautiful. And so the colour I found that I liked was Resene Galliano. It's strong, it's different, and you may not associate it with a barn. However, I think it'd add a really good pop of colour into your backyard, should you want to have a go with it.
Cool. Be good for a pergola too, that one, perhaps.
It would be. I mean, that's right. Don't be
it.
shy with colour. Try and integrate it into your garden if you can. It's a fun way of adding some permanent interest. So as the garden changes, of course, throughout the year with seasonal variety, you've got this sort of colour that sort of sits there and anchors the site.
Hamish, just quickly before you go, just your last colour.
Resene Cobalt. If you love blue, this one's for you.
Oh, love it. Yeah, that's a nice one. Nice, deep, not offensive, is it? But bright enough to be some kind of colour.
Yeah, that's right. For those people who aren't quite bold enough to go all the way.
Designer Hamish Dodd, thanks very much, and thanks to our partners, Resene.